We've got breaking news. LeBron James Lakers lose to the Blazers in Game 1. Now, I can't say that this is a total shock because I did pick the Blazers to win a game in the series. But listen, I didn't expect it to be the first game in the series, and I definitely didn't expect it to go down the way that it did. Now, many of you know I do my best to be as objective as possible when it comes to making predictions and dissecting teams. But don't get it twisted, not for 1 second. If you didn't know, I'm a diehard Lakers fan. And after enduring 6 years of not even making the playoffs, I was ecstatic about seeing the Lakers not only make it back to the playoffs, but be sitting as the #1 seed, as a legit title contender. But man, listen, when I tell you that watching the Lakers in the first quarter was the most frustrating thing that I've seen in a while, goodness gracious. I mean, I damn near jumped through my TV screen yelling at the boys to play some defense. But after that 36-point first quarter to the red hot Blazers, I gotta admit, the Lakers, man, they play some championship level defense. But that offense, oh my goodness. Listen, we gotta discuss that on today's episode. Now, I know that I said on my last video where I joined the Daniel Artest podcast that today will be the second part of that podcast prediction show. But listen, I'm sorry. After last night's debacle, I had to do an intervention. It's some things that need to be addressed that I refuse to let another day go by without me airing my grievances. But for those of you that were looking forward to that episode, make sure that you check back on Fridays. I'll go ahead and reveal the remaining predictions from that Daniel Artest podcast takeover. So in this turn, I'm going to be breaking down the good and the bad from last night's loss to the Portland Trail Blazers, but also make sure you stick around to the end of this video as I'll be giving you my prediction for Game 2, as well as my newly updated series prediction. Let's get it.
Are you ready?
Welcome back to Journey of a Ballaholic, the best talk show for basketball addicts. I'm your host, General Hannibal X. Now, if you're new on this channel here, you're going to be getting my passionate and in-depth analysis on the hottest NBA and college basketball topics. Listen, I'm a ballaholic, absolutely addicted to basketball. And just like everybody, I have my own opinion. But if you like opinions that are backed by facts, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, but also be sure you hit that bell notification so that you'll be updated whenever I drop new videos, which is every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to keep it real. Listen, as pissed as I was as a fan of the Lakers that they lost, as a ballaholic, somebody that studies the NBA, I'm actually optimistic about this being an even better series than I imagined. Look, man, I get it. I totally get that everybody wants to rain on the Lakers parade because they're the #1 seed that lost to an 8th seed in Game 1. I get that. But let's not act like this is the first time that that's ever happened. Not only have we seen #1 seeds lose the first game to 8 seeds and then come back to win the series, we've specifically seen LeBron-led teams lose Game 1 of a series and then come back to win. So I get it. It's easy to be a prisoner of the moment and make it seem like everything is bad for the Lakers. But that's not really the case. I mean, there were some positives from last night's loss. Alex Caruso, for example, him and Markieff Morris, they played some solid defense. You got to give those boys some credit. They were a team high +12 when they were on the floor. Even Kyle Kuzma. Now, he didn't have the best shooting game, but he was aggressive, and that's what you want to see from Kyle Kuzma. You got to remember, last night was his first playoff game of his career. 14 points on the night. And when the fourth quarter started, when the Lakers were down 3, it was Kyle Kuzma to score 7 points in that fourth quarter to give the Lakers their largest lead of 6 points with 8 minutes left in the game. So a lineup that I think that Frank Vogel struck gold with, and one that I hope that we see more of, is Alex Caruso, Kyle Kuzma, Markieff Morris, LeBron, and then have Anthony Davis at that 5 position. Listen, those 5 guys right there, they were able to switch everything, that 1 through 5, and they were all committed to trying to get stops. And I think having Davis at the 5, that's going to be real key in the series. Because I think what the Blazers want to do is they want to try to match up their 2 bigs along with the Lakers' 2 bigs. So in those situations where JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard is out there alongside of Anthony Davis, it allows Portland with their 2 bigs of Whiteside and Nurkic to be able to clog the paint, keeping LeBron James out of the paint, which allows him to be and have more of that pass-first mindset. But for me, this loss comes down to 2 things. Comes down to 2 things: free throw and 3-point shooting. The NBA, man, this is a make or miss league. Bottom line, an NBA player's got to be able to hit open shots. The Lakers, they shot 5 for 27. Listen to that, 5 for 27 on wide open threes last night. Now, a wide open 3 is when the closest defender is more than 4 feet away from the guy who's got the ball. So it's a good thing that the Lakers offense was able to create those open shots, but it's bad that they missed so many of those open shots. And then you got a guy like KCP. Come on, brother. Come on, listen. 1 point, 0 for 5 from deep, and 0 for 9 from the field as a starter who played over 25 minutes? Listen, man. Okay, listen. Unlike most, I'm not going to blame this loss on KCP or even Danny Green for that matter, as I've heard a lot of people doing this morning. This loss, to me, it's on the shoulders of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Listen, I understand those two guys put up the stats, but playoffs are about your stars. I don't want to hear about role players missing when my two superstars shot a combined 17 for 44. That's less than 39% from the field from the best duo in the NBA. Then they were a combined 1 for 10 from D. And both of these guys, superstars, missed back-to-back free throws late in the fourth quarter when it was just a one-possession game. If Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum are going to outscore the Lakers superstar duo 55-51, the Lakers have no chance in the series. But that's not a trend that I think we're going to continue to see in this series. Anthony Davis, he shot 50% from the field on this season. And in his career, he's a 51% field goal shooter. Even LeBron James is a 49% shooter from the field this year, and his career is a 50% shooter. So I think we're going to see a regression to the mean when it comes to the Lakers and their offense, specifically the offense from their star players in LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But what I want to see is I want to see Anthony Davis dominate. Like, I understand and I love the fact that he got to the foul line, he got there early and often. I want to keep seeing that. That I did love. But I also want to see him dominate in the inside more. He's got to be able to convert some of those and ones. He's got to be able to inflict punishment down there on that box. Now, as far as LeBron James, listen, man, I love him, but I need more Michael than Magic. Last night, we got a lot of Magic Johnson version of LeBron James. 23 points, 17 rebounds, and 16 assists. I mean, listen, no player in NBA history has ever had a 20-plus, 15-plus, 15-plus game in the playoffs. Nobody. And there's been a lot of amazing greats who were triple-double threats. But I need more. I need more if the Lakers are going to win a championship. Not necessarily more statistical, you know what I'm saying? But I need more aggression. Now, that's not to say that LeBron was passive, because he wasn't. LeBron was attacking, but when he was attacking, he was looking to set up other guys. And don't get me wrong, I understand that mentality. That was a chess move by LeBron to say, my guys have been struggling, I'm going to attack and get them open and easy shots. I get that. But what I want to see is I want to see him attacking, and I want to see LeBron James putting pressure on the defense to have to collapse because he is attacking to score. He's got that killer instinct mind from the jump. That's going to truly open up the defense to give those open shooters a split second more time to be able to catch and shoot in rhythm. Let's be very clear here. Carmelo Anthony cannot stop LeBron. Gary Trent Jr., he cannot stop LeBron. There's no one on Portland that can stop him. And for him to only take 7 free throw attempts while Nurkic took 9, that's unacceptable. Bottom line, I want to see LeBron put the onus on the refs to make the call. I want to see LeBron put pressure on the defense and force them to send a double team. I want to see LeBron James put Nurkic and Whiteside on a freaking poster. That's what I want to see from LeBron. I want LeBron to send a message in game 2. Forget the stats. Forget the triple doubles. Listen, go get the win. Go get the win. Game 2 is almost a must-win for the Lakers. Now, it's not a must-win because, to me, only elimination games are true must-wins. But this is the closest it's going to be. There's no fans in the crowd for the players to be able to get that energy going, and that's what the Lakers normally would have in a home court setting. So that means LeBron James, he's got to go into takeover mode, and he's got to energize his own team. He's got to be the one to be the spark plug from the beginning that lets Dame Time and his Portland Trailblazers know he is the king and this is the best team in the West. Now, as far as Anthony Davis, bottom line, I need more. 2 points in the fourth quarter, just 7 points in the entire second half. That's not going to cut it, man. You're a superstar playing for a superstar franchise. Listen, you got to bring it. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and just discount the Portland Trailblazers and their defense when it comes to the Lakers' offensive struggles. I can't. That wouldn't be fair to Portland. Portland played some good defense, specifically a guy like Hassan Whiteside. And you got to remember this. Portland came into this game with a maligned defense. A lot of people talk about how they were just a terrible defense, and people forgot that the Blazers were one of the best shot blocking teams in the NBA. And Hassan Whiteside, who leads the NBA, had big blocks. I'm talking 5 major blocks, but 2 in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, that were crucial stops of keeping the Lakers at bay. That right there was major. And so you got to give Portland, specifically Hassan Whiteside, a lot of credit for that, man. Look, Portland, they came ready to play. They jumped out on the Lakers and they went up by 13 points in the first quarter at one point. And I gotta admit, I underestimated the Blazers in this matchup. I gotta admit when I'm wrong. The Blazers, they are really good when it comes to matching up against the Lakers. Think about this. There's no team in the NBA that has a backcourt that is as dominant and as good as Portland is, while also having two legitimate big men when you look at Nurkic and Whiteside. Then you throw in Bubble Melo, some call Hoodie Melo, some call him Skinny Melo. Listen, Carmelo Anthony is a future Hall of Famer, and he's proven that he is a clutch shot maker. When it comes to clutch shots in the bubble, Melo's got 6, which is the most of any player in the bubble. So this Portland team is a complete team. They're healthy, even though they didn't have Zach Collins. For the most part, even what Gabriel gave them being in that starting lineup was exactly what they needed, was somebody who, with energy, effort, athleticism, length to be able to compete with Anthony Davis on the boards and just fighting for possession. He did that. So you got to tip your hat to this Portland Trail Blazers team. Now, with all that said, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm expecting a win from the Lakers in Game 2. Bottom line, this is a game, once again, it's not a must-win. If the Lakers go down 0-2, I don't think it's the end of the world. They can still come back and win the next 4 or 4 out of the next 5, so it's not the end of the world. But this is a big-time game that I want to see the Lakers respond in. Not only do I think the Lakers are going to win Game 2, I have to revise my series prediction. Coming into this, I stood on saying the Lakers are going to win in 5. Well, that's changed. Hasn't changed much, but I got to change that. I think the Lakers are going to win this one still, but I'm going Lakers in 6. I think Portland will win another game in the series. I don't know when that's going to come. Maybe Game 3 is an ideal time for them to win. Maybe Game 4. But I do think the Blazers will get one more. Why? Because Dame Lillard was on, but CJ McCollum really didn't get it going until the 4th quarter. So I think they'll have a game where he's on as well as Dame's on. That's a tough combo to stop, man. Dame Lillard right now is playing on an MVP level. Bottom line, he's the bubble MVP, but he's playing on an MVP level right now. His range, as we talked about before, is ridiculous from 30 feet to the half-court line. He's money. And so I think it makes it real tough for the Lakers to be able to match up, specifically when you don't have Avery Bradley, you don't have a Rajon Rondo, but the Lakers have too much star power. Bottom line, Anthony Davis and LeBron James is still the best duo in this game. And if they impose their will, as I expect them to do starting from Game 2, with the defense that we saw the Lakers play in Game 1, I think we got a 6-game series that's going to be a knockdown, drag-them-out series. I don't think you're going to see any blowouts in this series. You're going to see game by game, clutch moments, close games in the 4th quarter, and you're going to have to see superstar players making superstar plays. So what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think the Blazers will be able to upset the Lakers as Charles Barkley is standing in? Charles Barkley's saying he's calling for the sweep. He's saying the Lakers aren't going to win no games in the series. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comment section below. Listen, if you missed my video where I broke down why the Lakers will actually win the 2020 championship, go ahead and click the box right here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, click the logo up top. Until next time, make sure you stay safe in the streets. And remember, we still want justice for Breonna Taylor. Peace.